Right, continuing on with my screwless vise and improvements to it, I've found another couple of additions that proved very useful. The first thing I found when I was making this piece here that the screw holes are quite near to the edge, and putting that on ordinary 1/8 parallels, you're going to end up drilling into them, and you don't want to do that. So then I made some smaller, thinner ones, but you can see if they're too thin they go in this gap here. So to get around that, I added a piece at the bottom, but it's still very thin at the top, and that's got to be 2.4 millimeters at the bottom. And now I can fix that on and drill through without catching anything. To make sure they stay in place, I use a little bit of spring steel in there, and that stops them falling over. Then I wanted to machine this recess, and when you press down, if you're at the end, it has a tendency to tilt, and I thought, how can I get around that? So I decided to make some packing pieces that go in that little recess. And now anything I want to be at the end or overhang, I can press down there and it won't tip over, and that's proved very useful. And it also gives you a little bit more height, so you reduce the step here when you want to machine round there. So that was the additions. Right, I'll finish off by showing you some of the other changes to my milling machine. And you've probably noticed the DTI dials I've got, which I've chosen because they don't take up much room, and they only cost about £30 each, and they have ABS and standard settings, easily used in conjunction with the hand wheels. They're not perfectly accurate, they're within 0.1 millimeter. Down here I've just made a clearer speed selection, because this is an early machine. Some of these changes won't apply if you've got a more recent one, but there's no speed readout on the original, and we've got a nice light there. And probably the most useful thing I've done is made on the feed a depth stop, so that you can regularly drill holes the same depth. It may not work on the later machines where they've got a fine feed adjustment. So, and on this dial here I've changed the lettering so it reads as you go down. I don't know why it counted as you went up, because surely all machining operations you go down. So I've stuck on a new scale there. And here's the tracking device. one of the first things I did when I got the machine was change this cover, because it had one that went in a loop like that, and I thought, well, bits would just go down the back. So I've got that attached to some angle, and then this just slides up and down as you move the table. And then to go the rest, I've just clipped that on there with magnets. The other useful device here is these stops that you have stops on the x-axis but not on this one, so that just can set where you want to stop. So that's just a bit of tracking screwed on the side there, and I use that quite a bit. And around here is my nuts and bolts and self-made parallels and T-nuts. You'll need these when you start. And here's the other tracking. Right, this is my power feed for the table, made from a small electric drill and Meccano gears inside, and that just clips on the end here. I've taken the end cover off and put a couple of pegs there, and this drive shaft connects with your feed screw right in there, and you've got a variable speed and engage or not engage, and forward and reverse. And I would use that when you've got lots of machining to do, but I don't find I use it a great deal, because if you're doing a short length and you need to stop in a certain place, you like hand control really, but it's there if I need it. And it's fun to make it. Right, this is the Stuart engine I've been working on recently, and it's the second one I've done like this, so I gave it a different colour scheme, and it went together quite well and turns over easily, so I'm quite pleased with that. I used 8BA screws mostly so it didn't look so chunky as the ones they give you.